I mean, anything. It's a loaded question, Diana. From a human standpoint, yeah, it's a tough one. From a football standpoint, two separate things. From a football standpoint, uh, you know, that wasn't. I don't think that was the problem.
Next, we'll go to Sam McDowell, Kansas City Star.
Hey, Andy. I know you probably only got a really brief time to do this, but I'm wondering what your message was to your guys after the game and what it will be in these next few days.
Yeah, well, I had an opportunity to be with them, so they were all in there for the most part, and just that you battled your tail off all year, stand tall. That's important, and keep your eyes looking up and forward. And so we didn't play our best game today, but we're going to get back on it and get ourselves ready for next year.
All right, next we'll go to Matt Derrick.
Hey, Coach, I know you already have a healthy respect for Patrick's toughness, but tonight in a game like this where things weren't really going his way and he was taking a lot of hits, does this say anything more? Do you think this proves anything about him and just his mental and physical toughness in a game like this?
No, to the last snap, he was trying to win the football game. And so that should never be questioned. No, you're right.
All right, next we'll go to Jory Epstein, USA Today.
Hi, Andy. Leonard Fournette was a threat in both the run and the passing game today. What was so difficult about stopping him for your defense?
Yeah, you know what? He did a nice job. They used him in the run game, and he ran hard, and they used him in the play pass game as a check down. So, and he did a nice job with that. So we need to do a better job of making sure we're in position to cover him. I mean, but listen, the kid, give the kid credit. He did a nice job.
All right, next we go to Jason Alex Fleming, Florida Sun.
How you doing, Mr. Reed?
Hey, Jason. Good.
Coach.
Hard question to answer, right?
Fair enough, Coach. My apologies, Mr. Reed. The linebackers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were swarming today. Do you think the biggest issue was the lack of running game early, or the fact that Mahomes couldn't get the deep plays going due to the fact that the secondary and the linebackers were just so fluid?
Yeah, I could have done a better job of helping him out with the run game, and I could have given him more opportunities where we could have run the football.
Next, we'll go to Santiago Tomasi, NFL Chile.
Thanks, Mr. Reed, for your time. I would like to ask you about your defense. You have some problems in the first half with some falls, and in the second half, especially in the running game, they weren't fast enough. They couldn't stop the gaps. What do you think it can improve for the next year?
Yeah, Santiago, I thought we did a nice job at the beginning of the game. We didn't take advantage of that as well as we could have offensively, and then there were too many snaps out on that field. We've got to do a better job of sustaining drives on offense, and that, again, when I say it's my responsibility to help our guys with that, that's my responsibility.
Next, we'll go to Jarrett Bell.
Hey, Coach, I've got to ask you the proverbial "did you see it coming" question. When you think about your preparations for the week and the situation with your son, the COVID situation, can any of that explain what happened?
No, I didn't see it coming at all. I thought we were going to come in and we were going to play these guys right, just like we've been playing teams, and it didn't happen that way. I mean, they did a nice job. I give them credit on it, but I didn't anticipate this happening. No, I can't tell you that.
All right, next we'll go to Brian Costello.
Andy, you said Todd got you tonight. What specifically about Todd's game plan and scheme tonight worked so well against your offense?
Well, we played zone on first, second down and mixed it up a little bit on third down, and we weren't able to handle that too well.
All right, Coach.
All right, thank you.
We're good.
Game of the year.
All right, next we'll go to Nate Taylor.
Hey, Chris, considering that you said the Buccaneers had a great offensive line going into this, just what did they do maybe differently in the first matchup to give Brady more time?
Nothing. Brady just got it off fast and a lot of penalties.
All right, next we will go to Jennifer Lee from NBC Sports.
Chris, are you surprised at how many calls went against your team, especially compared to last year when it seemed like there weren't as many calls?
I was very surprised. This is Super Bowl. I mean, usually you let the guys play, especially in the biggest game of the year. And we had nine penalties for 100 yards. They had 2. I mean, penalties can change the game.
Next, we'll go to David Melandra.
Hey, Chris, would you say that the referees had an impact in this game early on, especially late in the first half, with those 3 possibly back-to-back penalties that led to the 1 touchdown?
I mean, penalties cost the game either way, Not only the referees can call the penalty, so the penalties affect the game 1,000%. The ref, what can I say? We got a lot of penalties called on this today.
Next, we'll go to Jason Alex Fleming.
Mr. Jones, not really a 2-part question, but from your perception, the penalties were a killer, but was it the long, meticulous drives, or was it the shots downfield when you guys couldn't get off the field that was more a determining factor in today's game?
I mean, if you look back at the game, we got a unnecessary roughing penalty, which they put them on the goal line, and they wasn't able to get in. And penalties can change the game, but we'll be better. We'll be better. It was tough,
Next, we're going to Michael Donaldson.
Hey, Chris. Look, I know it's a devastating loss. We can talk about the game, for hours, but what's your number one goal going into the off season? What do you tell these young guys on your team, to rebound from this? What's going to be your top goal going into the off season?
Let this be a positive to motivate you for this off season and going into OTAs and training camp. We can learn a lot from this game. We take it in. You're never as good as you think. You're never as bad as you think. That score. We're a better team than the score. We was off on a few areas, but it'll be okay. We can learn a lot from this.
Next, we'll go to Adam Kilgore from Washington Post.
Hi, Chris. Somewhat along those lines, I believe this is the biggest loss points-wise in Pat's career. You guys just haven't had a lot of difficult games like this. Where do you think this kind of leaves you as a franchise? You still have so much young talent. You still have Pat at a very young age. Where do you kind of go from here as the Chiefs?
I think we can get back next year. You look at the team we have a lot of young guys, a lot of our key pieces. We have them on the contract. We missed a few key pieces today that could have helped us out this game, but I think we got the potential and talent to go back next year.
All right, we'll take two more questions. First one goes to Cameron Buford.
Hey, Chris, you say the penalties can change the game, but how does that impact your aggressiveness and the mindset once you get a couple penalties? Does that just kind of build on the top of each other? Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, it can. If a cornerback is pressing, every time he press, they call a penalty. It can take him out of the game. It can stop him from wanting to press there because he's scared that he might get a penalty. It does affect your aggression as a player, and today we had a lot of them.
All right, last question. We'll go to Jarrett Bell.
Hey, Chris, can you put into words how difficult this is for everything this team wanted to achieve? How stunning of a result, how you process this?
It's very difficult. We as players, we sacrificed a lot, especially during this year, dealing with COVID and everything that COVID required to continue to play as a team. And we sacrificed a lot. And just to not achieve the goal, overall goal that you wanted to achieve with the huge sacrifices everyone made, it sucks. It sucks.
All right, Chris, you're good here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Patrick, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You ready to get started?
Yep.
All right. We're going to go first to Danny Heifetz. Go ahead, Danny.
Hey, Patrick, your confidence has been one of your defining qualities. You guys have had so many comeback wins and so many victories. Was there a moment, what was the moment you realized you weren't going to win this game?
Probably when I threw the interception at the very end of the game. I mean, you knew it was pretty much over then because we had no timeouts. But I mean, we battled to the very end. I mean, that's one thing you can say. I mean, we played not very good football today, but we battled. And now you have to respect the guys for their toughness on doing that.
You had that one play where you looked like you were Spider-Man. You were flying sideways through the air. You put the ball on the receiver's hands. How confident? I mean, it was one of the best incompletions I think anyone's ever seen. Is part of you heartbreaking? Do you feel like you left it all on the field tonight?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did. I mean, obviously, I didn't play the way I wanted to play. But I mean, what else can you say? All you can do is leave everything you have on the field, and I feel like the guys did that. They were the better team today. They beat us pretty good. The worst I think I've been beaten in a long time. But I'm proud of the guys and how they fought till the very end of the game.
All right, next we'll go to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Patrick, a couple things. First of all, how similar was what Tampa did tonight to what they did, say, in the second half after that big first quarter in the first time around? Do you see any similarities in their coverage from that game, from the second quarter on to tonight? And I'll have one quick follow-up.
Not really any. They had a good game plan. They kind of took away our deep stuff. They took away the sidelines, and they did a good job of rallying to the football and making tackles. We weren't executing early. I had a few miscues. We weren't on the same page. But I mean, credit to them, man. They played a heck of a game defensively and offensively and beat us.
Okay, and was the toe a problem for you tonight? And are you going to be having surgery anytime soon on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say the toe was a problem when I played last week or 2 weeks ago, and I played well on it. I mean, it's something you battle through. You're playing football, you have to battle through injuries. And so we'll look at it tomorrow, and we'll make a final decision on if we're going to have surgery on it or not.
All right, next we'll go to Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Patrick. As close as you are to Andy, I just wonder how cognizant of all the other things going on the last couple of days you were, and what feelings you might have had about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tragic situation all around. I mean, you're praying for everyone that was involved, but we went into the game, and I felt like he was still Coach Reed, still the same guy, but obviously we wanted to win the game, but we didn't. So now it's about continuing to move forward and try to do whatever we can to keep moving forward.
All right, let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Patrick, there was so much discussion about the offensive line today and how it was going to go against the Buccaneers pass rush. Just what did you see was the big issue in that regard, and just how did you try to counteract what they were doing in terms of the pass rush around the second quarter or so?
Yeah, I just think we weren't on the same page as an offense in general. I wasn't getting the ball out on time. The receivers were running routes not to exactly where I thought they were going to be at. And the offensive line, they did good. They were good at sometimes, and sometimes they let guys through. And when you're playing a good defense like that, you got to be on the same page as the offense, and we weren't today. And that's why we played so bad.
And one more question, Patrick. Just this is the first time in your career where the team didn't enter the end zone on offense. Just when you look back on this, just how shocking is it to know that you guys played as poorly as you did, particularly in the red zone?
Yeah, I mean, we just didn't execute, especially on third down and in the red zone. And those are the two most important parts of the field. They were just better than us today. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They executed at a higher level defensively. They had a good game plan, and we weren't able to make adjustments and find ways to get in the end zone.
All right, let's go next to Diana Rossini. Go ahead, Diana.
Patrick, I know you addressed it already, but just the awful situation that happened, just from your perspective of the team, how much of the situation that happened involving the young child in the car accident affect the team in terms of you guys heading into the weekend? Did it take the air out of it or change the vibe?
I mean, I mean, it's hard to kind of put it into words. I mean, it didn't take the air out of it. I mean, guys were still ready to go, but I mean, it's a very tragic situation, and you know you want to keep that in the back of your mind, and you give prayers to the families that were involved, and especially the child that was involved. So I mean, I don't want to say it affected us on the field. I mean, they beat us. There's no excuses on that. But you're praying for those families.
All right, let's go to Therese Paler. Go ahead, Therese.
Hey, Patrick. The common theme throughout your life has been, your dad, your godfather, the lessons they've taught you, right? Including how to deal with rough losses. I'm wondering, what they've shared with you in the past about how to proceed forward after a disappointment like this, and what is the primary lesson you take from tonight moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, my dad lost in the World Series in his career, and he continued to battle and continued to be who he was. And obviously, it hurts right now. I mean, it hurts a lot, but we're going to continue to get better. We have a young group of guys that have had a lot of success and learned from that, but we've had a few failures, and we have to learn from that, and we can't let this define us. We have to continue to get better. Going into next year, being even better and preparing ourselves to hopefully be in this game again.
All right, we have time for a couple more. Let's go to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Patrick, the amount of penalties in this game, how much did that affect what you guys wanted to do from a rhythm point of view? And are you surprised at how many times the Chiefs were penalized this game?
I mean, it definitely affects it. When you have penalties in football games, especially when you're struggling and you're playing a really good defense, it's hard to continue to get drives going and get in the end zone. And then, I mean, as far as defensively, when we have penalties that extend drives, I mean, that's how teams find ways to score points. And so you don't want to say it affects you, but I mean, you go out there and you play your heart out. You just want to go out there and try to find a way to win and try to stay away from those penalties.
All right, let's go to Matt McMullen with the last question. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Patrick, I know your locker room's hurting right now, and you touched on this briefly already, but I'm just curious your message to the guys about moving forward after this.
Yeah, I mean, we have a young group of guys. When we kind of joined together, we knew it wasn't going to always be successful, and you weren't going to be able to win 1,000 championships in a row. We knew we were going to go through times like this and adversity, and I think the best thing about it is the guys that we have the leadership ability to be even better next year. And so, obviously, we didn't end the season the way we wanted to. We can learn from that. We can learn from the successes that we had during the season. And at the end of the day, we have to come into this next year with a blank slate and trying to find a way to get to the Super Bowl again.
All right, that's it. Thanks for joining us, Patrick.
Thank you.
Was the more I say they was least penalizing us by damn near 100 yards. I mean, when you playing that type of football, you're gonna make it hard for yourself. I've been in plenty of games where, we won the penalty battle, and we kind of made it harder on ourselves. But then you get bailed out a few times, throughout the season, or you might not affect but then eventually everything like that comes back to bite you in the end. So, the penalties, missed tackles, just not executing like we should on all fronts, was the result.
Next question is from Herbie at Kansas City Star.
Hey, Frank, you touched on the penalties there, and your teammate Chris Jones says that he was surprised at the amount of times the Chiefs were penalized this game. How much do you agree with that? Were you surprised at how often the penalties went against you guys tonight?
I'm not surprised. I mean, action is action. I mean, at the end of the day, we know we was getting ourselves into, man. You know, you understand who the refs are. You understand what you got getting yourself into. You understand what's not going to get caught. So, you know, I'm not going to sit and say the penalties is the reason why we lost. And, you know, it's multiple things. Like I said before, man, it's execution. You know, you got to execute. You got to make tackles. Can't expect to go out there and win games when you missing tackles. And, you know, running backs, they getting the extra yardage. They getting the extra 4 or 5 yards here, getting the extra 4 or 5 yards there. It all comes from playing gap sound defense and trusting each other.
Next question is from Jennifer Lee.
Rick, how much different was this game called compared to last year's Super Bowl?
Man, it was called like a Super Bowl. Like I said, it's no excuse for nothing. A lose is a lose, a win is a win. You can play the referee part if you want. No, I ain't gonna play that story. It's a win. It's a fair win, man. Tampa Bay won.
One more question. ESPN Deportes.
Hi, Frank. What do you think they made for you to be blocked after you made 2 key plays during the first quarter? And did the Buccaneers do something that you didn't expect through the game?
Nah, not really. Kind of expect everything, you know. Buccaneers, I feel like they just did an excellent job with their game plan. Some of the things, you know, that are my strengths, I wasn't able to showcase because, you know, they got up on us, and, you know, it's a different type of ball game when you're playing from behind. You know, I was defending the run a lot. You got to defend the run a lot, man. And, you know, when you're not able to really get off the field or stop the run, you know, like I said, they churn getting away at yards, you know, getting, you know, yards, 5-6 yards after contact and stuff like that. You know, we always hurt our defense when we allowing those things to happen. You know what I mean? And we just wasn't able to execute on that front tonight.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Appreciate you. Good.
No.
Hey, Travis, Patrick seemed to just start running backward for like long stretches in the second half. How many plays kind of just seemed to be dead right from the snap with the pass pressure?
Can't really put a finger on it. I think it was once we got down a good amount, I feel like their defensive line kind of thrives off of being able to just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. And sure enough, they had us schemed up pretty well.
We'll go next to Aaron Ladd from KSHB.
Travis, ESPN has Patrick as running around for 497 yards before he could even get the throw off. How does that impact, you know, what you all are trying to do and your routes and all that?
Well, first things first is I gotta be able to get open so that he's not flying around like that. And then on top of that, just being there for him when he does get out of the pocket. I feel like he's had a magic Mahomes type kind of creativity when he does get out of the pocket. So I mean, it's not like you're mad at him for doing it or anything like that. It's just kind of how the game went, and you know, it's not what we want to do as an offense, but at the same time, you know, guys were out there just trying to make plays.
We'll go next to Tom Akins from AP.
Travis, talk a little bit about the defensive schemes that you guys had to cope with tonight. As you said, the Bucs seem to have things schemed up, but what was the most difficult thing that you guys tried to challenge to get free and get ready to move the ball?
I feel like they made us kind of dink and dunk, take what was there. They put a cap on the defense, or they put a cap over top and didn't let us get behind the defense. knowing how much speed we have. And sure enough, what that made us do is try and, run the ball a little bit better, but their front seven is second to none in the league. And it's just, it was frustrating. It was one of those days where it just felt like, anything you did, they had to answer for.
We'll take two more questions. The first one going to Matt Derrick of Chiefs Digest.
Hey, Travis. Patrick just said that the offense wasn't on the same page from the beginning, as far as he wasn't getting the ball out on time, receivers not being where he expected them to be, and obviously guys getting through the line. Is there anything you can really put your finger on? It's just as maybe why you guys didn't come out on the same page like you usually do.
No, there's nothing I can really put my finger on. It's just we were a tick off, and sure enough, putting up only 6 points in the first quarter, and there 2 field goals, leaving points on the board, and on top of that, just drop balls. There was a huge drop pass, which then set up the punt that we got a penalty on, and then we had a shank punt, and then they just went up 21-6. And I mean, at that point, a lot of momentum was on their side, and it was just tough sledding from there.
And we'll take our last question from Jennifer Lee Chan of NBC Sports.
Travis, were you surprised at how many penalties were called against your team versus last year, where it seemed like they just let you play?
I'm not going to get into the penalties. We got to play the game by the rules, and just be better. No excuses.
All right, Travis, thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Feel free to head back to the virtual center where you can see everyone else on the podiums.
TikToks. We went viral. So no, she didn't. She didn't. See, I am so hungry. And guess what? I just ate a whole sandwich. Baby, what's up? I can't hear you. I'm about to do some media. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. What'd you say? Who went to the airport? Oh, you ain't ride the family you ain't ride the family bus back? No. Why? I didn't want to. So you just different now? No, I mean, we already had a driver set up, so I was like, okay, why not? All right, I gotta go. I love you. Love you too.
Okay, we're going to get started here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the Super Bowl post-game media session with Tariq Hill. If you want to ask a question, utilize your raised hand function, and we'll try to get to you. We will start our first question with Ryan Dunleavy with the New York Post.
Hey, Tyreek, what were they doing to you exactly that it seemed like you could never quite shake free in the first three quarters?
They played a lot of zone tonight, primarily cover 2, cover 4. You know, we rarely seen man, and that's what we game plan for. You know, a lot of 2-man, a lot of, man, obviously zone here and there, but, Todd Bowles, he did his thing tonight. He came out and they just had a better game plan.
And then when Patrick is running around there like 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage, that's where all his Sports Center highlights come from. Are you almost expecting him when he's doing that to make a play, or do you realize that's trouble when he's doing that?
Man, I just play football, man. So I mean, at the end of the day, if he's scrambling, it's our duty, to just be able to like scramble with him and make a play for him.
Thanks, Tyreek.
Yes, sir.
Next question, we will go with Sam McDowell with KC Star.
Hey, Tyreek, just to kind of build off that first question, you mentioned that this game plan was something that you guys anticipated. How similar was it to what you anticipated? And if it was the same, does that add to the frustration that you guys kind of saw this coming a little bit?
I couldn't hear you at the end. What was that?
Does it add to the frustration at all that this was the defense you guys were expecting and still weren't able to execute as well as you guys normally do?
Nah, man. Nah, it doesn't add no kind of frustration. It definitely hurts, because you want to win and, you just want to, get that other ring. But, at the end of the day, I feel like, we're going to bounce back. We're going to come back and we're going to do our thing next year, So congrats to Tampa Bay. Those guys played hard tonight. They did a fantastic job, So what we're going to do is we're going to take this one to the chin and we're going to come back,
Thanks, Terry.
Yes, sir. No one talking about.
Next question, we'll go with DJ Siddiqui from Forbes.
Hey, Tyreek, how's it going?
What's up, man?
Hey, so you were touching upon about how the zone coverage played a major role in you guys struggling today. Even though you guys weren't able to pull off a lot of big plays, you guys did put it deep into Tampa Bay territory, but you guys weren't able to punch it in the end zone. What would you chalk that up to? Is it simply the zone coverage? Was it the pressure? Is there anything else that you can really think of that they were doing special?
Nah, man. I'm not going to blame anyone on our team. I feel like it's a collective unit. Whether it's us, running too deep in our routes, or whether it's pressure or whether it's, whatever the case may be, so I feel like it's on all of us, at the end of the day. You know, so like I said, we're gonna learn from it and we're gonna be better.
Thank you, Tyreek.
Yes, sir.
Next question will go with Adam Kilgore with the Washington Post.
Hi, Tyreek. You guys really haven't had You guys really haven't had a loss like of this margin since Patrick got to the Chiefs, and I wonder, just is it like strange to process a game going like this? It's probably very weird to like watch the Chiefs lose in that manner. Is it the same as a player? Are you out there wondering sort of what's going on and why you can't snap out of it like we've seen so many times in the past?
Let's just play ball, man. You know, it don't matter if we're down 40 points. I'm gonna still go out there and play hard. You know, me and also the other guys on this team. You know, so that's all I got.
Next question, we will go with Aaron Ladd with KSHB in Kansas City.
Tyreek, I think Chiefs fans are so used to y'all kind of starting off slow, but being able to flip the switch at some part in the game. What was kind of the talk on the sideline, trying to get some momentum going when it seemed like y'all just couldn't find any?
Well, first off, we got tremendous leaders on this team, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. You know, and a bunch of the guys were just saying, you know, believe. You know, believe in the process, believe in this, you know, adversity, you know, being thrown at us. So that's all guys were saying, you know, and it just didn't click, you know. So like I said, once again, we're gonna bounce back, you know, everybody gonna work hard doing this off season, and we're gonna come back strong and better, you know. So that's what the great teams do, you know, like
players who have won Super Bowls that have then lost Super Bowls say that loss sticks with them way more than the win ever has. How are you feeling right now comparing the two?
I feel great. I'm breathing. I'm living. I feel great, man.
Appreciate you.
Next question will go with Jason Alex Fleming from the Florida Sun.
Okay. Oh.
Okay.
Somebody, Hill has to go. Who said that? Wrap up. Oh. Whoa. Who's writing that? Hey.
Okay.
He doesn't even know what to say. He's like,
Thank you, Tariq. Thank you guys for joining the media session.
Y'all made him panic. Yes, sir. Thank you. I'm just here so I don't get fined, by the way, guys. Oh, bro, my feet really can't touch the floor, though. I feel like Tory Lanez.